the first company in our space in entertainment to really take humans and AI and reinvent and reimagine something like Netflix for direct to consumer. So if you look at Netflix as a platform, because that's what we do, we service customers and help them launch their own version. We've done that with humans and technology for years, but now with AI, our team, which is our CTO, Joe's our CEO and CTO, and our engineers, we vibe coded and we really from ground up reimagined. If you took all of these platforms and you think about the end consumer and what their viewing habits are, what would that look like today? In 3 weeks, we rebuilt what we've been doing for 15 years with customers. So we're really excited to launch that and continue to advance our team's experience in the AI world.
The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you're ambitious, but are manual tasks like admin, lead generation, nurturing, and onboarding holding you back from truly scaling your business? Imagine saving dozens of hours every week, freeing you to deepen client relationships and execute high-impact strategy. Our clients aren't just imagining it. They're saving countless hours per week and doubling their revenue within months. We custom-build AI automation systems that eliminate the grind. From effortless lead generation and nurturing to seamless onboarding, we give you back the most valuable resource, your time, so you can focus on building those vital human connections and driving strategic growth. Stop letting repetitive tasks limit your potential. It's time to build a business that works for you, not the other way around. Ready to unlock your true scaling power? Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free AI audit call today to discover how you can save time and double your revenue. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the Intelligence Forge YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new episode.
Thank you so much for joining us. Our guest today we are blessed. We've got two guests in the house. We've got Joe and we've got Phoenix. So I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and then introduce their company, what they do in detail so that people who are meeting you guys for the first time will be able to know exactly what you guys do. Go for it.
Awesome. Yeah. So my name's Joe Pascual. Pleasure to be here. Thanks for having us. I'm here with Phoenix Gonzalez. She'll introduce herself, but we're two of the three co-founders of a company called Studio Pro. We're a Canadian-based streaming platform provider. Basically what we do with Studio Pro is we help people launch their own streaming services. So if you can imagine a company or a media brand wanting to have their own streaming service like Netflix or Hulu or Tubi TV, whether it's ad-supported or subscription-based, we can provide tools for you to take your content and upload it into a system that then gives you apps and applications across all the devices that we support to have your own branded streaming service. So that's basically what we do. So Phoenix, go ahead.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thanks for having us on. Phoenix Gonzalez, as Joe said. We've been in business for 15 years. So Joe and myself came up with a concept 15 years ago, huh?
Somewhere around
there.
around
15 years ago, and we met our third co-founder, and we started the company. I handle sales, marketing, really just, getting the message of our brand out and really aligning with partnerships and, really looking at how our sales are going and being able to make sure that we continue to grow as a company. So that's a little bit about me. And we started in Vancouver 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Wow.
We've had several huge marquee clients. We've had NFL teams like the Minnesota Vikings. We've also had big media companies like Local Now, Byron Allen's conglomerate of different platforms. So we've powered them all, including the Weather Channel and Sports TV. And so we've been in the space for a long time and considered, one of the thought leaders in the streaming space.
All right. Thanks for that introduction. I was going to ask, who are actually your ideal client? So do you target individuals? Is it a company or is it a mix of everything?
So the types of companies that we service as a streaming media company, it runs across the board. We started in 2009, and we really saw with Joe coming from post-production that there was going to be a need in the entertainment industry for people to be able to deliver their content and their libraries of movies and TV shows directly to end consumers. So that's where we came up with the idea to build a SaaS-based streaming service. And as a result of that, we started servicing entertainment customers, people who had libraries of movies and TV shows, wanted to become their own version of Netflix and go direct to consumer. And as we've grown over the years, we've serviced online publishers who are producing TV content or news-based content, so news organizations, entertainment, sports. and niche brands who are also looking to go direct to consumer with their content. That's kind of, the industries that we've serviced so far as a company.
That's huge. That's huge. If out of interest, if you don't want to tell me, it's fine. In terms of your revenue, 15 years, where are you now every year? I mean, yearly. What?
Yeah, we can't really disclose that because we're still a private company, But we have grown year over year, and just to maybe put a good sort of context around it, we've always been profitable since year one.
Wow.
So, yeah, I can tell you how much we've raised. We've raised very little money. We've raised just a little over, well, in terms of equity financing, we've raised a little over 2.5 million now. And in terms of debt financing, we're somewhere around the same area as well. But we're still profitable, and we're in the black every year.
Yeah, year over year we're in the black. If you really look at it, we have about 35 employees now, and most of our employees have been with us for upwards of 8 to 10 years.
Wow, 35 employees. Wow, that's huge. All right, that sounds good. In terms of technology, can you maybe go over some of the technology you use? How you've embraced technology? I mean,
yeah, sure. So there's a lot of moving parts to running a streaming service, right? So there's the back end engineering part of it in terms of just being able to deliver video content. Even before that, to prepare video content, so that means the transcoding process, making sure that videos are transcoded to all the correct formats, packaged for all the correct formats. We deliver to, as you can imagine, a multi-device universe. So people consume media content on almost every device conceivable that plays video. Each one of those devices have different video delivery requirements, so we have to make sure that we're compatible with all of the above. So that technology is in place. We have a content management system, which is really our flagship product. That's what we started with from the very beginning. So just in the same way that a publisher would control their blog content, for instance, using WordPress, our customers and us have our own version of that that's specific to video and video metadata and video curation, creating a channels, creating a rails, creating categories, taxonomy-based video content management. A layer above that is our API layer. So we had to build a way for our CMS to interface with applications, whether we're building them or other companies are building them. And then obviously we develop for all the devices, right? So we develop for web, we develop for iOS, Android, mobile, we develop for connected television, we develop for devices like the Roku stick, the Roku box, Apple Fire TV, Apple TV. So all of those things are different code bases that we have to wrestle with in terms of development. So all of that is under one hood.
Wow, you guys are doing a good job, I must say. Okay, let's dive into the topic of the day. Traditional IT models.
Okay.
It's going extinct.
Yes.
In this AI age.
Wow.
So let's even talk about the elephant in the room. Talking about, we've seen some of the IT models, it's no longer in fashion. People are not using it any longer.
Right.
You talk about putting your server in one corner of the office.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
And, all those things. Now people are adopting AI. So what's your take about this shift, and what do you embrace it? Yeah, just tell us, maybe each of you can take a turn on this.
Yeah, I mean, so as the CTO of the company, I've always been, just to give you a little bit of my background before we got into streaming, like Phoenix was saying, I was in post-production, right? And in post-production, we also went through several incarnations of technology disruption, so to speak, I guess to put it that way, right? And you're always wanting to be in the cutting edge of that, but you're always sort of looking at it from a sideways perspective, going like, is that production ready? Is that something that can plug into my production workflow? Because the same as in post-production, what we do is also a workflow, a production pipeline. And so if it doesn't plug directly into that or disrupts it too much, then it doesn't benefit us at all. So you have to have this perspective of being hyper aware of what's going on, but at the same time, knowing full well when to integrate it and when to put it in. Obviously, when you talk about servers, obviously we're all in the cloud now. We're leveraging cloud services. We have applications that don't even run on servers. I mean, they essentially run strictly on the cloud through a CDN. But when it comes to AI, that's where it's a little bit different. Sort of like was a little bit wanting to ignore AI a little bit.
I think we all did too, to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I would see kind of what it was doing. Oh, obviously it affected us in many different ways. I mean, ChatGPT, the adoption of that, using that as a sort of like an alternative to Googling something is, I guess, where a lot of people sort of like got their feet wet with AI. But in terms of that sort of like replacing an engineer or replacing coding, or this whole concept of vibe coding, where essentially machines are writing code for you, I really didn't take it seriously, to be perfectly honest. I really thought that it was more of a marketing sort of hype, a meme. To a large part it is. I mean, there's a lot of people that sort of like, have videos on like one-shotting applications and, wow, look at this, I built the whole thing, in 2 hours, yada yada. And I think because of that, I really didn't take it that seriously. And just working with engineers for 15 years now, with this company alone, the complexity that it takes to actually build applications in a robust way that's scalable, my brain just couldn't compute into thinking that that's really what happens. Needless to say, today I'm in a very different camp. I've gone completely on the other side and jumped
360.
Yeah, almost 360. Yeah, maybe 355, but almost 360. Only 355 because we still have employees that are engineers, so I can't go full 360. But yes, yeah, we're living in a very, very, very crazy world right now. I mean, let me put it this way. Yeah, I don't know where you want me to even start with it, except for saying that 6 months from now, I am of the camp now where I feel like this world will be a very, very different world from what we perceive it to be. And if you are not paying attention to what's happening now, 6 months from now, you're going to wake up and not understand the world as it functions at all.
Please say that again. Say that again.
Sure, I'm going to say that again. I'm saying through my experience with working directly with AI, if you are not paying attention to what AI and where AI is, where large language models are today, where they're going, the innovations that are happening at an exponential speed with that, and at the very least, using ChatGPT to, ask questions, 6 months from now, you're going to wake up and you're not going to recognize the world and probably not know how to function within it.
I perfectly agree with you. And when you say 355 degrees,
yes,
you actually nailed it.
Okay.
You know why? I will
Yeah.
tell you why.
Sure.
The 5% will always be the human factor
That
that
is
you
correct.
can never replace.
That is correct.
So
It's amazing that it's only 5%.
Well, whatever percentage you want to put it, even if it is 1%, whatever, there is always a human touch.
That is
Yeah.
That
correct.
is what I tell people.
That is correct.
AI is not really going to replace people, or it's not to replace people, but to enhance what humans are doing. However, you don't hand over everything to AI. You still have to have an element whereby human being will approve to say, this is good to go, or
Yeah.
no, I want something different. That is it.
Yeah, 100%. Because at the end of the day, we're still the consumers of the product, and we need to be the arbiter of whether it's production ready or not production ready. And the one thing you'll notice too, AI is very placating. It's incredibly agreeable. I haven't had it disagree with me yet. I think that will really be scary the day it actually disagrees with me and actually says, no, Joe, no, I don't agree with that. I'm going to do it this way. It could happen.
I personally think it will.
Possibly.
My take on that is that you're not doing a good job enough. Do more for me. Do more for me. Do more. You're not doing a lot.
Right.
For me, that's what I task it to say, no, this is not good enough. Is that the best you can do? You should be able to do better. Then I ask more and then I get better.
Yes.
This is to
very
you,
true.
Phoenix, if you want to answer. What area of AI or this new technology have you seen that versus the old one? People are using server in the room. Now people are using cloud, something like that, as an example. So what part of the technology have you seen that you say, this is the old way of doing it, now this is the new way of doing it, that you can say, yes, for me, this is not going back. We're not going back.
I mean, if I look at our industry and look at where we came from in digital, when it comes to distribution, when it comes to content, most companies, I mean, we actually we just merged with another company, and that company has servers. We went to go meet with them. We looked at the facility and we looked at all the assets. and they still have server rooms. And, you know, if you think about where our industry came from, the studios, the distribution houses, the content production houses, everybody had servers where they stored all of this content. And, you know, over the 15 years of being in this industry, we've worked with a lot of post-production companies who have had to figure out how to transition from servers in their facilities to getting all that content in the cloud, because everything moves in the cloud now. So, you know, there's been a lot of extinction when it comes to, you know, that model of we're just going to put everything on drives and put it on servers, and we're going to have all these server rooms. Server rooms don't really mean what they mean anymore, because people don't need that anymore. Everything needs to be in the cloud because we're moving at such a different speed that servers just aren't going to do it.
Sure,
I think he's saying that's exactly what he wants you, like, what is it in AI that's been that big for you that's just as big as like us as moving from servers to the cloud?
What
like,
in AI? Well, I mean, if you think about it, like and we have developers, so I don't want to say that we're replacing, because we're not replacing developers, but like, you know, there simple things like being able to move faster, you know, with AI for writing. Like, okay, I was working on our website and I needed markup for the website, and instead of going to our developer, I was like, okay, let's write an HTML block, you know, and let's for WordPress, and I gave it all the requirements, and it was able to just, you know, really quickly build that piece of code for me that I, who am not a developer, was able to put into WordPress and now visually see it on the website. And
I like that.
Think about it.
I think that's exactly it.
Like,
I love that.
it was so efficient, and I didn't have to bother my developers. Now, do I think that it's going to replace them? No. But for simple things like that, perfect application.
Yeah.
Wow, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. So that takes me to the next question to say, according to some data, this is not me, so don't crucify me.
Okay.
AI might eliminate about 85 million jobs. However, it's going to create 97 million new ones in 2025, 2026.
That's amazing.
Now, this requires, you know, AI technology. It means that you have to be skilled in AI. Now, seeing this number, let's agree that this number is even true. So, how do you think companies will handle this kind of transition? Because, again, if you don't do it, definitely you'll be left behind. So, you'll be forced to do it. So, how do you think companies should, you know, take this transition?
Yeah, I mean, I think you make up a great point. So, we're right in the middle of that, you know, and so really what it is, I think the first thing, one, is we have to have compassion across the board, because not having it's just like, I think being able to be a prompt master, so to speak, right? Like what you were saying earlier, you know, I task it to do better than this, and that's what I'm demanding of it. You know, I think some people have an innate skill of communication, right? And where it's almost like, where have you been my whole life? You know, I can see that with her specifically, right? There are certain things that she is incredibly highly creative, and dependency on task experts to execute her vision has always been a challenge, because she needs 100 of them, or she needs so much time to execute it, and she has 100 other ideas that are already waiting in the pipeline. So for her, automation assistants, AI assistants, you know, it's really like she woke up and went, where have you been my whole entire life? I've needed you this entire. I need to put something on my WordPress site. I don't want to wait till tomorrow. I need it in 5 minutes. I can't call Matt. I can't come up. Nobody's answering. It's 2 a.m. She just puts it, boom, and then she's got it and she's done. That type of person is going to excel in those 95,000 or million,
95 million.
95 million new jobs, right? So when I say compassion, what I'm saying is that is a skill that over time I've learned you can learn. So I think some people just have to understand that, wait a minute, this is where we're transitioning to, and I need to start developing these skills, and these skills have to be developed.
That's a good way to.
People that are actually in a position where they are task experts in certain things are actually in a very even more unique position, because if they master the other skill, they're even more dangerous than somebody who's just able to just, I need an HTML block, but I don't really know how to read HTML. I'm going to trust the AI and I'm going to stick it in there and hope to God it works, and then 3 days from now it explodes and it doesn't work. You know, whereas a person who is an HTML, CSS, or even JavaScript expert can look at that and go like, wow, okay, this is great. Let me just tweak this and make sure it's working, and then now it's fine. So I think that's where the transition is going to. So for us as a company, we're really going through a training process.
That's the thing.
With all of our employees. And unfortunately, the unfortunate thing is some of them are not going to do it. That's just the reality of it. Some of them are not going to be trainable in that aspect of it. And those are the people that are going to suffer the transition, but the people that can translate will do really well.
I also want to add to that, though, because I also think it's something I've been talking about recently. It's conversational domain. When you have the ability to have conversational domain with different things in life, that's what makes your experiences that much richer. And I really feel like the conversational domain, learning how to prompt AI, is a really important exercise that a lot of people are going to grapple with. There's going to be language barriers. There's going to be level of experience to be able to prompt correctly, level of understanding. So I really think that people who speak multiple languages, who have a vast career experience, those are the types who have a lot of life experience, I feel like are the people who are going to be able to grasp AI, and who aren't so, I don't think it's a black and white thing. I think you need to be a little, I would say have a bit of non-linear thinking in order to be able to prompt correctly.
Well, that's funny. I mean, you just made me realize what the age of Aquarius is. I mean, this is really what this is about, right? Like, it's the age of Aquarius. It's a different way of communicating, and it's a different way of interfacing with reality that requires you to have the skill. I mean, it's really inviting a whole new paradigm into your world, and you have to be open to it. And like she said, if you speak multiple languages, it's like inviting somebody who's speaks a foreign language in your house, and you have to now realize how to speak the way it speaks. But then it's so fast that it actually learns your language faster than you.
Yeah.
But you have to make that first step. And I don't know if that's a perfect analogy.
No, it does make sense. And I actually had another conversation with somebody recently on a spiritual side of this whole idea of prompting, because prompting is really what's going to get you the most success. The more successful you are communicating. But if you look at life and the whole idea of manifesting, that's about being really specific and clear. The same way you prompt life, because you're prompting life is a series of prompts, whether we identify it or not. Manifesting is prompting. It's prompting for the best possible outcome. So if you're a good manifester as well, you're going to be good with. I think you're going to be. That's my analogy. That's my thought, anyways. I think you're going to be good with AI.
I think this is a new revelation that you're just exposing now. Wow, I didn't see that coming.
That was
manifesting.
I don't get it.
Wow, that's interesting. And I think I agree with you. I agree with you.
She's hitting on something really true there, because really what it is just efficiency of creation.
Yeah.
Previous to AI, you had other dependencies. You had people, you blah, 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 but you just did whatever you had to do to get what you needed to get.
Yeah.
But now you have this added tool that can make stuff go super fast, can calculate things, can think of things 10 times faster than a human brain can. You know what I mean? So these are things that now, oh, wow, I'll just use this. It's faster.
And I think a big lesson we're all going to have to learn even more is humility and patience, because some of us are going to adopt faster, and we're going to look at others who don't adopt as faster and get frustrated with them when they challenge us on what it is that we're saying, because they don't trust AI or they're not at the same place. So the conversational domain between us and others needs to find humility, because there's going to be a gap, there's always been a gap. There's going to continue to be a gap.
Right. Talking about acceptance of AI, I just wanted to ask an open question to both of you. And AI is not going to replace our jobs. I think that's the message a lot of people are pushing out there now. Mm-hmm. But what's your take? Do you think we take people's job, or do you think it's not going to take it? I just want to hear from you in one sentence.
I think it's going to take people's jobs.
I do too.
100%.
100%. I don't think anybody should fool anybody into thinking that that's not what's going to happen. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
What if I flip it this way to say, AI is not going to take your job, but the people who accept AI will take your job?
Sure.
That too. Sure. That's a very high probability.
Sure, but it could be a 5-to-1 ratio, though. It could be one person taking 5 people's jobs because they know how to use AI. So there is that, right?
That's
what
true.
he said.
Yeah.
That's
there could be
true.
a 5-to-1 ratio. It's just what it is,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing. I mean, look, we're opening a Pandora's box, right? I mean,
It's a debate that we can't finish.
very big brains have been trying to tackle the situation. I mean, if you listen to Eric Weinstein's podcast and everything, I mean, this goes into UBI, this goes into a whole bunch of different topics of where does the world go with this type of disruption. But you know what? The one thing that I think people are not factoring into this, because I think it also mirrors what we're going through as an organization. When you say 55 million jobs lost, but 95 million gained, right? Really what that says to me, and again, it mirrors in our organization, there is not enough problems. There's not enough solutions for the amount of problems that we have.
Interesting.
So there's enough work, and there's always going to be enough work because we're not short of problems. You know what I mean? So,
and to add to that, the reason the number is also high is because people see now that they can scale easily. So one of the things that I tell some of the clients we work with is one technician could go out to do 15 jobs in one day.
Right.
But now with AI and automation, an IT technician can do 40.
Correct. Yes.
Now a greedy CEO will look at it and say, wow, so now I can get 10 that can do 40 each. That's more money for me. That is the scalability.
Yes. Yeah, and that's how we're looking at it too. We're looking at it as like this should increase our productivity by 300%. That's our benchmark, and that's what we told all of our employees. And again, when it comes back to like there's not enough solutions for problems. When I say one person can replace 5 people, it doesn't mean that you get rid of the 5 people. It means that these 5 people can now solve 5 other problems. 300 other problems that you haven't been able to solve with just 5 people.
And I think what you just explained now is the reason why a lot of school of thought believe that AI is not going to replace our job, except people who does not accept it. But if you have 1 million employees today and they all accept AI, it doesn't mean they're going to lose their job. It's just that you're going to create more opportunities that they will be able to fulfill.
Yeah, and I think it's a generational thing too, right? I mean, any generation coming up into the workforce now, any person that I talk to, whether a teenager coming out of high school into college or just going into the workforce, this is the first thing that they're thinking of. So you're going to get a generation that's already looking at this as the new paradigm of work. So automatically, you're going to have way more adoption in the next generation than you have now. So yeah, it's a very small time of severe disruption.
But I'm loving it.
Because it's so fast.
But I'm loving it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Naturally, there are challenges that we face when we want to implement new technology. No doubt about that. So I just wanted to ask you guys, have you identified some of these problems to know what are the measures that can be put in place? I will give you one example, so that you can understand where I'm coming from. So when it comes to integration, some people will tell you, there's an integration. There's no API in this system, so I can't integrate this system and this system. But now AI is making it easy because API is everywhere. So apart from that, do you see other challenges that companies may face when it comes to adapting AI into their system?
I mean, I can tell you the issues that I personally went through integrating with our system. Number one, it exposed some unnecessary complexity in our system that I wasn't aware of, that now makes sense why certain maybe partners or whatever in the past maybe have struggled with some of the things that we had in place. Now I'm seeing it like firsthand, systems struggle with it because it's anticipating, because how AI is all based on probability, right? So it's looking at this, and obviously as it compares it to other similar things that it's encountered in its knowledge base, it's very different. And I have to ask myself, well, why is our system so different? Is that necessary, or did we just overcomplicate things? You know what I mean? So that's the first thing. But I think those are I think the more niche your business is, and it's not in sort of like the common knowledge pool that your particular, LLM may be dealing with, then you're going to deal with massive hallucinations.
AI hallucinations?
AI hallucinations, yeah.
Which is an interesting thing I'd never heard of till yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
I'd never heard of AI hallucination. I was like, that's a thing?
Oh, yeah. It hallucinates all the time.
That's talking about it like it's human, but it's not.
Well, I think that's part of the meme and the hype, that people are buying into it as if like, oh, wow, look at what it created, and sort of buying into a hallucination. That's not really real, but when you're having to interface with real systems, that's when it really rears its ugly head and you kind of realize, oh wow, it's just like, where did you make this up? And then you kind of look at it and you go like, okay, it's like you have this concept of what this is supposed to be and how this is supposed to be put together based on your experience. And that's what you created rather than looking at the system that's in front of you, because the system that's in front of you is quite foreign to you. You've never really had to wrestle with it. So, but there's fixes for all of that, workarounds for all of that. And those are the challenges that companies have to figure out. And those workarounds are unique to them. They have to figure out those workarounds.
I think the whole idea of lunch and learn is something that's going to be revisited because you're going to have to spend time investing in your people and not giving up on them. And
your AI pipeline too, right? Yeah. Because of the hallucinations. Like for me personally, it's like I had to, every time especially when you're vibe coding, and you're actually building systems and integrations directly with, creating code, with AI or having it generate code, you can tell right away where it starts meandering, and it starts going in a direction that like, oh wow, this is like, it's hard to, you're not going to be able to put it back. So it's almost like you have to start from scratch and go like, what don't we understand? And the most amazing thing that I've learned from other peers, in the AI space is that AI is the only system that actually you can ask you how to help it understand what you're trying to say.
Exactly, got it.
I don't understand that concept. Most people don't understand that concept.
Yeah.
You're like, you mean I can ask AI that question?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, you want to do something and then you say, I don't know what to do, but tell me what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to be asking for?
Yeah, exactly. How do you want me to explain this to you? Like, how would you want to understand this? And then from there, start from basics and then get to the place where you feel confident that you have the same common understanding now. Now you're on the same page. And then now you can go full force and go, okay, let's continue again from here. And then you'll have much less hallucinations after that, right?
I like the idea. I learned this from him because I wasn't thinking in that way when it came to communicating with AI. I like the idea of asking AI to first analyze what it is we're about to embark on and tell me what it is it understands from what it is that we're about to embark on. I never thought about that. I was just like, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? But now I'm like, let's analyze this together first. Let's make sure that you understand and that my understanding align. Let's find out where it doesn't align, and then let's move forward. And that is so powerful.
Yeah.
And the more people learn that, I think the better off they're going to be in starting projects with AI.
There are, like, just like in a video game, there are unlock keys that once you find them, when you work long enough with it, you start finding them and you continuously find them, that you feel like, wow, I've just unlocked a whole nother layer here of how I can communicate, and I'm getting way, way, way better results, And I think that's where it gets addictive, because like I can tell you from my experience, there was a time there where I was using two different AI agents, one to write the code, one to architect and to provide feedback and code review for the other, right? So this AI would write the code, I would take the code, show it to the other AI, the AI would provide feedback, and the way it was providing feedback was with even all these amazing, like wonderful, like, oh, you did an amazing job, blah, blah, you blah, 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 and then this one would be so appreciative of the feedback. Like, I literally, at one point, I felt like you guys should just get a room, because I don't know what's happening here. You don't need me right now.
Yeah. Interesting. When you talk about budget, do you see budget as a constraint when it comes to implementing AI?
It shouldn't be. I think that
it is, though. Yeah.
I guess you run into it more often than I do.
Yeah. Because,
he would run into it more often.
Right. Yeah. When I was building the large application that we just built right now, over 3 weeks period, I was really running Manus AI, for instance, like almost 24/7. So I run out of credits like this, like boom, 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 boom. So yes, I have to justify every single one of those, top-ups to my CFO every single time. But the only way I can keep a tally in my head is like the last time we built this system, it cost $80,000 to build, and I'm not even at $3,000 of credits right now. So I should just relax and just keep on going. But I am mindful of it because, anytime you run out of something, you run out of gas in a car, you're thinking to yourself, oh, I need to put gas in. I need to take money out of my wallet. Now I got to pay money,
But just to make it clear, you're talking from the point of view that you can use AI to build something for yourself.
Correct.
Not everybody is in that space. So let's
true.
just make that clear. Some people, they're just going to buy the solution. That's how they care.
That is true. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So what advantage do you think companies with AI we have over, especially IT industry, we have over companies that doesn't use AI? 1, 2, 3, maybe just one sentence.
Speed to market, prototyping, speed to prototype.
I think speed to prototyping and proof of concept is so invaluable. And I think that is going to give a lot of people a leg up, and the ability to A/B test things quickly. Like, you want to be able to put a dream to either into motion or to rest quickly, or an idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, especially in prototyping. Whereas in application development, you would have used a prototyping software. Now you're actually building something as a prototype that fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great example. We have an employee who does QA, not really a coder, but has website and has development experience. And we said, hey, can you take this and see if you can, with AI, build a button and build a side menu? And rudimentary, he literally did it in like no time flat. And then was able to show it to some of the developers that he QAs with to better educate them on how to achieve that. And before it was like we would have to build a mock and then write documentation, and there's all these steps that literally he was able to cut out in like 5 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that is going to give people so much more opportunity to be effective and efficient.
Well, documentation, that's a whole nother thing. When you're rushing for deadlines, that's usually what suffers the most. Talk about, like, if you want to document everything that's happening. Happens in 5 seconds. You have full documentation. You can write a thesis on everything you do. As a matter of fact, writing documentations on what you just built is a great way to be able to rebuild that 10 times faster again with AI, because you just haven't read what it wrote.
I guess the list is endless. If we have to list is endless. I mean, write proposal now by building PowerPoint by hand. Nobody does.
I would say though, on the design side, for like things like ChatGPT, they're not really there in terms of like really designing. The outlines are great, but you still need human for like making it the presentation ready from that perspective.
Depends. There's some of them that are getting really good.
I haven't been able to prompt it in a way that has given me the right presentation
tell
ready.
you need to look deeper.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I have to present something to you today and I get an information from you, I tell you in 10 minutes, 10 minutes because I want to look at it and QA it. But in less than a minute or 2 minutes, everything is ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Beautiful. So, you see, the more we also look, the more we also research, we see some of these tools are there. And the beauty of this is that we can also build some of these solutions for our own use.
Of course.
That is also the use of it. The beauty of it. We can build. So you're talking about, you're looking for a solution that you can give a prompt, design something for you, a presentation. Even if you don't have anyone in the market now, you want to build your own, it is possible. Mm-hmm. That's also the beauty. You can build it and fine-tune everything until you are happy to say, this is exactly the way I want this thing to work for me.
Yeah, I mean, like automation agents like N8N, stuff like that, where you can cobble tools that are more like what you would use, like Keynote or something, to automate certain things, the ChatGPT.
Maybe those are the things that I need to look at more, because I'm using too general of a tool as opposed to a more specialized tool.
Yeah, ChatGPT, Gemini, they're not going to do much for you, but the customized one, for me, I think is the best thing that I tell anyone to. Customize something for yourself and hone it. Improve on it day by day until you get to that perfect section that you say, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Wow. Okay, so I think this is more like second to the last question. Within your own organization, is there any area you think we need to automate, but we've not been able to get the automation right, or AI working for us in that area? Is there any area within your organization today?
Yeah, I think there's multiple. I mean, I think it's endless. If I speak from my division, creating a more automated pipeline process for lead generation and identifying and validating leads. I think, instead of hiring companies to do that for you, or they can bring lists and things, I think that there is a lot of opportunity in creating doing research on that and really looking at cost-effective ways to implement something that's is fully automated, from website lead generation all the way through to validating the lead and pre-qualifying the lead. I think that's something that, I personally am looking at in our organization for my division anyways.
How is that important to you, if I may ask?
Well, for 15 years, I've been pretty much the only salesperson in our organization. Okay. So I've done all of our sales. My CFO has always looked at me and said, what is the process? And I'm a person who just goes out and does. So when it comes to like a process, that's not something that I've really been able to, fully harness myself, because that's not my strength. I'm the person that you go and get to knock down the doors and set up the meetings and, get people to, say, yes, I want to sign with you. But I really feel like beneficial for me is the few salespeople we have hired. I've always said they have to be better than me. They have to be able to achieve more than I can achieve. I can achieve a lot. So I really feel like creating automation as opposed to hiring more salespeople is going to make things much easier for my division. I don't think my division needs more bodies. I think it needs more automation.
Okay, let's look at it this way. Let's say you have an end-to-end automation that can do all these things that you said today. How much revenue do you think that can bring on top of what you are getting today? Or how much of revenue do you want it to get? Don't let me even say can get, because what you can get is unlimited. But what will you set your eyes on to say, if I could get this kind of solution, I want 10 million every year on top of what we are getting. What do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm just starting out at like a very small goal, because I like to set goals, I would say if that automation could bring us 500 to $1 million a year, because I know what one salesperson can bring. We can bring a couple million well. So I feel like if we could get 500 to $1 million out of that automation in year one on a yearly annual license that roll over on a 3-year license, we're in good shape to be able to develop on top of that.
Wow. Maybe I should ask your CFO, Joe. What she's saying is very brilliant, and it caught my eyes to say, maybe to ask you as a technology guy, how much do you think that can cost you guys to get that rolling?
How much it would cost us to get that?
If let's assume you think from your CFO point of view, I mean, you also build system, because we talked about budget earlier, to say that's one of the constraints, but from your own point of view, you want to get $1 million every year. Do you think it can cost you 900,000 to get there?
No, it's going to cost me. All it is focus.
Yes,
all it is focus. I am the automation guy, but the bottleneck sort of stuff happens with me now, right? Because, I can connect the dots with what she needs and where the product is and how that intersects together, right? And how we can automate that. And that's why that's the next thing on my list now, is as I'm sort of combing through the product again and automating the product using AI, now I'm able to sort of get into the sales process and creating a much saner funnel that makes more sense. And I actually think she's incredibly underestimating those numbers, because
I'm being very conservative.
Yeah,
I'm being very, 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 very conservative.
Yeah.
And that's something that's what's kept us as a company going, is being very conservative and always shooting for less. We always hit way more, but I like that methodology.
Yeah, because as much as you're talking about the shift in paradigm, like there's a paradigm that we haven't adopted in this company at 100%, and that is very personality driven. That's because she's an amazing business development person, right? So because she's an amazing business development person, we put a lot of onus to her to sort of like bring in opportunity, whereas my contention is, if we can automate a process, we can have a lot less pressure on this part of the business and have just something, but that's a different shift, right? Like people don't think that way.
I like the fact that you make it conservative. I tell, some of the people we help with automation, we always tell them the conservative number, because it's better for you to stay with that. And when you hit the roof, then it's like, wow, I didn't see this coming. I didn't know that you have this capability. Yeah. And I think I want to just say, if people want to find you guys, they want to do streaming, because I didn't ask you about your social media strategy, if you also automate that, because that's also something you can automate. If you want, the system to research people that are doing streaming, that are looking for streaming, talking about streaming, and then every day do the research, give you a topic, and then post those things for you. However, you still have to approve it. Like I said, my philosophy is that do not send anything out until you approve it.
Correct.
For me, that's key. And do that for you on automation. That would be beautiful on top of what she said in terms of, the lead generation. But if people want to get hold of you guys, they want to do, where can they find you?
Great. That's a great question. So our website has a request a demo or request information, which goes directly to my inbox. So there's buttons all over our site with contact us, request a demo, that all goes to me. So I get all that information. We also have our LinkedIn page. I monitor LinkedIn. So those are the two main business channels that we use, is LinkedIn and our website. Those are where people get a hold of us outside of referrals. If people want to find us, we've been a boutique company for many years, so we haven't really used I don't find Facebook as a really solid tool for people doing business in our industry. I think LinkedIn is more akin to what we do and, the type of business lead generation we're looking for. And then our website, obviously, we do get, regular requests for information from our website. And our website does ask you a series of questions. When you press contact us, it asks you a series of questions that come to my inbox, so I better understand what you're looking for, so I can tailor my response to you.
Oh, okay. If I may ask, how do you do your lead generation currently?
My lead generation has been a lot of referral based and a lot of strategic partnerships. So because I am one person, and as a company, what we've done is we've built a lot of strategic partners with vendors who are servicing the same types of customers, and we've done a lot of referral agreements back and forth where we partner with them and we promote their products, they promote ours, and we become a part of their pipeline, they become a part of ours. That was where I put my effort, because I felt like it was a much wider net we were casting for the opportunity to find clients. So that was one of the main ways we've really focused on it, is referral and strategic partnerships that are servicing the same industry.
But if you want to use AI now, what will you be doing?
That's a great question. So I actually built a plan for lead generation. It's just now the implementation of it, using strategic tools for scraping, for getting daily leads, for all that stuff coming to our inbox, being able to actually do the automation with HubSpot to send out the pre-qualified emails to say, hey, introduce them, put them into a pipeline that then validates them or drops them off the list, so that then I can do the final follow-up sale to kind of really get the conversation going. So that's what we're going to start implementing next. We're just finishing one project, and then we'll start that implementation.
Do you have of course you will have a CRM you're using to put all those information?
HubSpot.
Yeah.
Right. Any last word for your fans, for people out there about AI?
Well, I mean, we're going to be relaunching a new version of a platform called Chill-Free very shortly, in the next week or so, probably even sooner than that, as we're getting done QA right now. So that's totally exciting. And that really is going to be the first AI built and managed streaming service. Built from the ground up, using AI. You'll even see, whether people like it or not, there may be some AI ads that show up. There's AI content that might show up. But the majority of the content is actually nostalgic-driven content that we all liked and loved from back in the day, that we really enjoyed. So it's a great sort of juxtaposition between classic content and AI technology. So AI technology resurfacing this old content back to the surface, as if AI launched it itself, which it kind of did.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. We're the first company in our space in entertainment to really take humans and AI and reinvent and reimagine something like Netflix for direct-to-consumer. So if you look at Netflix as a platform, because that's what we do, we service customers and help them launch their own version. We've done that with humans and technology for years, but now with AI, our team, which is our CTO, Joe's our CEO and CTO, and our engineers, we vibe coded and we really from ground up reimagined. If you took all these platforms and you think about the end consumer and what their viewing habits are, what would that look like today? In 3 weeks, we rebuilt what we've been doing for 15 years with customers. So we're really excited to launch that and continue to advance our team's experience in the AI world.
Well, I must thank you.
Thank you.
You
Thank you so
really,
much.
really made my day because some of the things you said, I think, very fascinating, very interesting, especially with the meditation thing that you talked about. I never thought about using, AI in that regard, and I think it's something that personally I'm going to think about, and I will start telling people. Truly, when you think and you look at it about that way, it's all about how you're going to speak, how much you're able to speak out, you're able to say. And that's how AI works. The more information you give it, the better the results you get at the end of the day. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And well, hopefully we may be talking again if our path cross.
You didn't quit your day job to become a full-time admin assistant. The Intelligence Forge podcast is sponsored by Permasize AI Forge. At Permasize AI Forge, we know you didn't start your business to spend 60 hours a week on paperwork, chasing leads, and managing endless admin tasks. You started it to build something meaningful and serve your clients. But right now, you're trapped in the day-to-day grind instead of growing your business. What if I told you our clients are reclaiming 15, 20 hours per week, increasing their revenue by 30 to 50% within 6, 12 months, and finally getting their lives back? We don't just automate random tasks. We build custom AI systems that eliminate the bottlenecks choking your growth, from leads generation to lead, nurturing and management to project management, to client follow-ups. Stop paying for an expensive, frustrating manual system. It's time to upgrade to strategic automation. Visit PermasizeAIForge.com and book your free business transformation strategy call today. Discover exactly how much time and money you're losing to manual processes and how to get both back. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Intelligence Forge, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode packed with game-changing insights. Your future automated business is waiting.